The second generally accepted accounting principle with regard to the balance sheet is a realization that everything in the balance sheet has to be things which can be measured in money terms. Money measurement is the basis of the balance sheet. And that's why many of the things which are really assets to us in the business, but which cannot be measured in money terms, do not end up on the balance sheet. And so, for example, one of the major assets of any business is our people. But people cannot be measured as a monetary value, and therefore it does not end up on the balance sheet. So there are many assets, and sometimes often some liabilities, which do not appear on the balance sheet because they cannot be measured in money terms. The balance sheet only shows things that can be measured in money. The corollary to this is the concept of assets. Now, in many cases, the definition of an asset is something of value owned by the business. Fixed assets, or so-called non-current assets, are items of value owned by the business that we mean to keep. Current assets are items of value owned by the business that we mean to convert into cash. And that really is the explanation of why people do not end up on the balance sheet. Firstly, it's impossible to value it, the money measurement concept. And secondly, the people are not owned by the business, although some companies seem to think they own us, but it's not true. The people in the business are not owned by the business, and therefore they don't end up on the balance sheet anywhere as an asset or even as a liability. Now, the same applies to brands, and the same applies to various items which are considered to be intangible assets. They are assets of the business, but they only appear on the balance sheet if they have actually been purchased by the business. So much of the value of a business is in fact not end up on the balance sheet because it's never been actually purchased by the business. And that's why when you're trying to understand the value of the business, what you need to do is look at the market capitalization of the company's stock, which is the number of stock times the stock price. The market value of a company is in fact the market capitalization of the company's stock, the number of shares in issue times by the stock price. And it is never the value on the bottom of the balance sheet. So the asset value which is shown on the bottom of the balance sheet is not the actual value of the business.